Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping straight into a literal masterclass in character evolution from that pivotal, highly dramatic scene in Simhadriya Simha. We're talking about a fiery, head-on collision between modern arrogance, an outsized ego, and deeply rooted traditional family values. It's way more than just a family feud. It's a profound look at what actually makes someone educated and worthy of respect. So let's dive in and see how an unbendable ego gets completely dismantled, not by force, but by sheer, profound cultural wisdom. So what happens when ultimate, bottomless wealth crashes right into ancient family traditions? Well, Deepu's opening salvo pretty much sets the stage. How dare you? I am a Kotyadishwara's daughter, literally a multimillionaire's daughter. Talk about drawing a line in the sand, right? Here we have a newlywed entering this historically revered rural household, and she brings the absolute full weight of her financial privilege right through the front door. She's not there to blend in, she's there to dominate. Section 1. Ego and Disdain. To really get this conflict, we gotta look at our main character Deepu and her completely unyielding pride. Now, the whole thing kicks off over something so incredibly basic: a glass of water. A family elder asks her for water. Simple, right? But Deepu doesn't just say no. She absolutely erupts. She shuts him down, loudly citing her status. She brags that back at her dad's house, she could literally snap her fingers and 100 servants would come running. She makes it crystal clear that as a rich kid, she thinks basic household courtesy is totally beneath her. It's this striking display of ego that immediately isolates her from the traditional family she just married into. Which brings us to part 2, tradition and rebellion. You know, that initial disrespect doesn't just blow over. It acts like kindling. During a sacred family gathering, all that simmering tension finally boils over into a completely shocking physical confrontation. Deepu actually slaps a family member. And what's truly fascinating here isn't just the slap itself, but the reaction. The family isn't just reacting to the physical hit, they are reeling from the deep cultural offense. She raised her hand against a proud man of the historically revered Simhadri lineage. To these patriarchs who live and die by strict codes of honor and ancestral pride, this is the ultimate act of defiance. It's her hyper-individualistic rebellion clashing directly with their collective historical identity. Part 3. Education versus culture. At the very heart of this scene is this fierce ideological clash. We've moved way past just money now. This is a battle between modern university education and traditional cultural wisdom. Deepu essentially weaponizes her formal education, calling the elder an illiterate fool. She's flaunting her double degrees, her flawless English, proudly announcing she graduated from the University of Mysore. In her head, those academic credentials automatically put her on this pedestal way above her rural in-laws. She looks at them as uneducated, backward, and just entirely beneath her sophisticated worldview. To her, a university degree equals ultimate human value. But then, the elder delivers an incredibly profound reality check. He powerfully counters her, pointing out that, hey, learning a few letters is just for navigating the physical world. It's definitely not meant to just fill your body with arrogance. And then he brings up the ultimate equalizer: mortality. He reminds her that when you die, you leave everything behind, even the clothes on your back and the string around your waist. Meaning, all those millions of dollars, the servants, the fancy double degrees, they are absolutely useless if you don't have basic human humility. It's just a brilliant, masterful takedown of materialistic pride. This back and forth brilliantly highlights the core conflict of the whole explainer. We're looking at two totally different definitions of what makes someone successful and worthy of respect. On one hand, you have Deepu's worldview, which is super transactional and external. It's all about wealth, pieces of paper from a university, and asserting dominance. On the flip side, the family's worldview is entirely internal and generational. They value patience, profound humility, and upholding respect for those who came before them. Moving on to part 4, the true meaning of lighting. So this ideological battle leads us to a really fascinating cultural turning point. In many traditional cultures, a new bride lighting the household lamp is a big deal. It symbolizes bringing prosperity and light into the family. Now, Deepu thinks she can just arrogantly demand this right, but the elders completely redefine this cultural proverb for her. They explain that just pouring literal oil and striking a match means absolutely nothing. True illumination in a home requires honor to be the wick, respect to be the oil, and deep reverence to serve as the flame. Basically, without moral integrity, you aren't lighting a lamp at all. You're just playing with fire. Part 5. The Fish and Water Relationship. Following that intense philosophical debate, the marital friction hits an absolute breaking point. Deepu threatens to just pack up and leave after only 3 days of marriage. But right here, the emotional tone of the scene shifts drastically. Instead of matching her anger, one of the male family members steps up and vehemently defends the sanctity and the massive sacrifice of a wife's role. He breaks down the profound sacrifices a woman makes, leaving her old life behind, bringing her entire existence into a new home, and becoming so deeply bonded that she feels pain even if a tiny ant bites her husband. He's desperately trying to show Deepu that they do respect women. They respect the profound bond and sacrifice, not just the bank account she brings with her. And then, the traditional, supposedly illiterate elder does something truly remarkable. In this deeply moving effort to bridge their massive cultural gap, he actually quotes an English poet to her. He says the relationship between husband and wife should be like fish in water, not like fish and the fisherman. It's amazing. He meets her right on her own linguistic turf to explain that marriage needs to be a nurturing, life-sustaining bond, just like a fish literally needs water to survive. It shouldn't be some predatory trap. It's this brilliant, totally unexpected moment of intellectual empathy. Okay, so the crucial point is what happens next. How do you deal with a rebellious, arrogant daughter-in-law who's threatening to walk out? You'd probably expect anger or maybe punishment, right? Instead, the elder walks right over and hands her the British-era ancestral property documents. He entrusts her, this person who has honestly done nothing but insult them, with the entire family's legacy. He hands over total control, begging her for only one single thing in return: to never, ever separate the family. Part 6. Transformation and New Beginning. This is the exact moment everything flips. This absolute, unconditional trust acts like a mirror, and it completely disarms Deepu's ego. Let's look at the incredible transformation here, because as observers in the scene note, 2 absolute miracles happen simultaneously. First, the unshakable, stoic patriarch, a guy who has weathered every storm imaginable, actually sheds a tear, showing his deep vulnerability and love for his family. And second, the arrogant multimillionaire's daughter, who swore she would never bow to anyone, completely breaks down and begs for forgiveness. Her ego couldn't be beaten by anger, but it was completely shattered by overwhelming grace and unconditional trust. And the emotional arc of this whole journey culminates perfectly in the very next moment. Overcome with the massive weight of this realization and her newfound humility, Deepu actually faints. This leads to a sudden, joyous announcement from the doctor: Deepu is pregnant. Now, this isn't just some random plot twist. It's a powerful literary symbol. It represents the birth of her new, humble self. She's no longer just the arrogant outsider. She's now literally carrying the future of the very lineage she once despised. The transformation is entirely complete. As we wrap up this explainer, we're left to ponder a massive question that extends way beyond just this story. Does true education come from a university degree? Or does it come from deeply understanding human connection, empathy, and ancestral wisdom? We've just seen how a few moments of profound grace and communication can humble even the proudest of egos. So take a second to think about your own definitions of success and respect. Are you just filling your mind with worldly letters, or are you actually lighting the lamp with honor and reverence? Thanks for exploring this fascinating journey with me.